Learn more of Sarin history, and what better way to learn of that history than from those who have survived it? From Damon Baird, survivor of the Kilo Squad. Welcome back to the Kilo Survivor Notebook, the field notes of Damon Baird, his personal journal through his journeys with the Kilo Squad. Last episode, we visited Damon's first true battle and his feelings of Cole, seeing him on the battlefield in all of his glory. Today we will visit a site that is hallowed in the history books that will one day be written of Sarin territories. It is the beautiful town of Halvo Bay. As you see on the greeting card, that's exactly how they would describe it. We begin today, as we have each day, with a letter that Damon begins writing to his mother and father. Hi, Mom and Dad. Do you remember Halvo Bay? I do, vaguely. I remember it being the place we went to on vacation that one time. I must have been maybe 7, 8, who cares anymore? Everyone started talking about time in funny ways. Last year isn't last year, it's the year before E-Day. The locusts have arrived and brought with them a giant magnet shaped like an E-hole, powerful enough to reset every clock in Sarah. I'm for it. Enough of my life has lately started to run together as it is. What I do remember of Halvo Bay is a long coastline, a few skyscrapers, southwestern architecture that didn't quite look like home. I remember a giant museum near an old town area that everyone agreed was charming. I remember the houses of Seahorse Hills up on the ridge, smiling down on the coastline area below. I understand how comfort smiles now that I'm surrounded by war. But I never saw you smile like that. You had all the money in the world, but never the comfort. And I don't think I ever saw you any less comfortable than when we were in Halvo Bay. The trouble with the beach is that it's too pleasant. Beaches are defined by how little they offer. Breeze, rocks, surf are all hindrances to what's supposed to be an experience based on placidity. Dad's problem with the beach at Halvo Bay, at least as I remember it, was that it was perfect. We were there for what even the locals swore were some of the most peaceful and calming days the city had seen in ages. A zephyr had blown through a few weeks prior to the main season, and the carefully timed Baird family vacation designed, as always, to avoid the crowds, had become an appointment with paradise. Dad, you even had the foresight to book up most of the rooms on our floor in the hotel. I remember you giving me a stack of keys and telling me I could play in each room until I grew bored with it and then move on to the next. The look you gave me as you handed me the right to mess up a bunch of carefully prepared guest suites, both of us knowing full well what was about to ensue, was one of the few times I think you ever felt jealous of my ability to go be a damn kid. You knew that you were making me happy by giving me a near infinite playground to destroy and annoying the hotel staff who would have had to clean it up. When everything else was perfect, you injected a little chaos. Don't think we didn't know your games. So I'm going back to Halvo Bay. This time, things are a little more eventful. You'd probably like it a lot more. There are reports that a big group of locusts, fresh from having ripped most of the UIR into little pieces across the water, are moving in for some tanning time themselves. We've been speculating how well E-holes will work this close to the water. I'd like to think the sea would just rush in and fill up the hollow, but I have a sneaky suspicion the grubs are smarter than that. I guess I'll get to see just how smart they are soon enough. If I make it back to that hotel, whatever it's called, I'll try and make a mess out of at least one room for you guys. It's the least I can do. We see here a brochure of Halvo Bay, clipped in with a battle plan. We start with the brochure. So much to see at Halvo Bay. There's Old Town. Take a step through Halvo's history in downtown's most charmingly antiquated district, located near Halvo's famed Museum Row. You'll feel like you've stepped back into the era of silence. Halvo Bay Military Academy, known throughout Tyrus as one of the few training places for the COG's elite Onyx Guard. The academy is filled with bright and boisterous students pursuing the betterment of themselves and their nation. Closed to visitors. Onyx Point. In the distance, you may see cragged spires of Onyx Point, a naturally occurring geological formation that has been identified as an environmental preserve. Seahorse Hills. High above the flats of the Central Bay lie the palatial homes of Salvo's elite. Built on the famously earthquake-prone limestone cliffs that tower above our beautiful city, much of Seahorse Hills sits behind heavily fortified gates. Plaza for the Tiran dead. Sarah's newest military memorial celebrates the legacy left behind by our fallen heroes. Featuring memorials to those lost in some of the greatest battles of the Pendulum Wars, the plaza is a testament to everything Tyrus believes it can be. We see a Halvo Bay communications map showing the outlines of how cell towers and radio towers would all align with one another, how the battle plans will go, how ships will be docked, and how forces will be dispersed throughout this landing zone, how beautiful Halvo Bay is about to be ripped to shreds by gunfire and war. War that the Locust have started, and war that the Cog looks to end. Our final 2 pages of today's episode are actually a full-scale drawing. A drawing that Damon Baird himself has put together, showing what should be a beautiful memorial, the site of the Tiran dead, where so many more now will join them, not in name, but in spirit and in bloodshed. Because as you can see to the right of this painting, he has drawn out the Locust coming from an E-hole. There, close to the front of this picture, we will see the Cog soldiers lining up, beginning to play defense, beginning to try to thwart the attack by the Locust here. In the distance, the smog and the smoke clouds from no doubt explosions have erupted. The beautiful architecture and the history that was once Halvo Bay is no longer palatial. It is no longer quiet. It will be the site of a great battle, a site that will certainly help define the war to come. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. I hope you like this kind of content. If you do, please leave a like, comment, and tell me what you do or do not like and want to see more of. Perhaps subscribe if you so wish to. Tomorrow's a bigger episode than today, ladies and gentlemen, so I hope you join us once again tomorrow on Friday. This is Colin the Crow Clark, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.